If you open your news feed right now, you're almost guaranteed to be flooded with all these apocalyptic headlines about artificial intelligence. Rumors that it's going to leave us all jobless, completely destroy human art, or spark some kind of autonomous warfare. It is incredibly easy to feel a deep sense of fatigue about the whole shebang. But hey, welcome to this explainer, because today we are not going to talk about fear. We're going to talk about technological hope. While we're all out there arguing endlessly online, AI is actually acting as the silent hero, charting a map to cure the incurable and solve dilemmas that we genuinely thought were lost causes.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the sheer scale of what is happening here is literally breathtaking. For decades, we kind of just resigned ourselves to the idea that our human fate was simply sealed when it came to certain intractable diseases or a rapidly warming planet. But get this. The exact same cure that historically would have taken humanity 100 entire years of painstaking trial, error, and immense funding to find, well, a machine recently found it in just under 24 hours. This isn't some pie-in-the-sky concept for a sci-fi movie set 50 years in the future. This is happening right now exactly as you watch this explainer.
Section 1. The Biology Bottleneck. Human Limits in the Face of Complex Disease. Now, let's transition into exactly why humanity has been stuck for so incredibly long.
To really understand the magnitude of this technological miracle, we have to talk about our biological limitations. Human beings are wonderfully brilliant, right? But our biology just has a hard limit on its processing capacity. It's kind of like trying to crack a 50-digit combination lock by hand. We're losing the battle against superbugs simply because we couldn't spin the dials fast enough. Human scientists can really only manually test maybe 3 or 4 combinations a day. So discovering just one viable new antibiotic required lifetimes of work, decades of clinical trials, and billions of dollars.
That was until researchers at MIT decided to switch things up and train an AI model with millions of chemical compounds. In a matter of hours, that AI analyzed over 6,000 of them, and it found something absolutely incredible. It identified halicin, a uniquely structured molecule that absolutely destroys some of the deadliest, most resistant bacteria out there. What would have taken us a century of human trial and error, AI basically solved in a single day simply by shattering that processing bottleneck.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 2, Unlocking Medicine, Deciphering the Building Blocks of Life. This is where we hit the biggest milestone in medical AI, understanding our bodies at a microscopic level. We all know proteins act as these tiny microscopic machines that dictate how our bodies function, and when they misfold, well, that leads to devastating diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, or cancer. For 50 years, predicting exactly how a protein would fold was biology's most expensive, painstakingly slow guessing game. The traditional human method required months, sometimes literally years of effort, and hundreds of thousands of dollars just to decipher one single protein.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer difference in scale. Over 50 years of scientific history using those traditional methods, researchers managed to map about 170,000 proteins. Then, the AlphaFold AI system was launched, and AlphaFold managed to map 200 million proteins in a single year. By hand, that would have taken us roughly a few millennia? That's essentially every protein known to science going from a complete mystery to an open book. And why this matters to you and me is that this is a literal treasure map. By knowing the exact shape of every protein, we can design hyper-specific medications to shut down diseases before they even begin.
Which brings us to how this completely transforms the treatments we currently rely on, like cancer care. Traditional chemotherapy is, unfortunately, largely like bombing an entire city just to catch a single criminal. It effectively destroys the bad cells, sure, but it takes a massive, massive toll on the patient's body by destroying all the good ones too. But now, through AI predictive oncology, algorithms can analyze the genome of a patient's specific tumor in mere minutes. It designs a personalized treatment unique to that one individual. We're no longer just guessing which medicine might work. AI creates the exact map of the specific enemy, targeting the tumor while sparing the city.
Section 3. Healing the Planet. Transitioning from the human body to the Earth. Let's zoom out from the micro scale to the macro scale. Because, of course, curing the human body doesn't do us much good if the place we live becomes uninhabitable, right? Climate change is easily the most complex problem humanity has ever faced, because there are trillions of variables at play simultaneously. Our human minds quite literally collapse trying to process it all at once. But for massive neural networks, analyzing trillions of variables is just a Tuesday.
They're out there acting as the central brain for smart national grids, rerouting clean power in milliseconds. They're discovering brand new sponge-like materials for highly efficient carbon capture, predicting agricultural disasters before they happen, and even coordinating autonomous drone swarms to clean up our oceans.
But perhaps the most mind-bending application is the ultimate dream of infinite clean energy, nuclear fusion. Recreating the power of the sun right here on Earth means keeping plasma stable inside a fusion reactor, which requires adjusting massive magnetic fields at superhuman speeds. And who is successfully achieving this right now? Deep reinforcement learning algorithms. In a very real way, AI is holding a miniature sun in its hands, navigating a level of physics complexity that we just couldn't manage fast enough on our own.
Section 4. The ethical crossroads. The human equation behind the miracle. Let's pause the technological excitement for a second to address something crucial. Because these miracles create some massive ethical dilemmas. Here's a question to seriously think about. I want you to look at your hands right now, reflect on this huge transition we're making, and tell me, if an AI completely maps out a cure for Alzheimer's, who owns the patent? Is it the laboratory that bought the heavy-duty computers, the programmer who wrote the original algorithm, or should that cure belong to the entirety of humanity for free? I want you to go down to the comment section right now and debate this. Let me know where you draw the line on trusting machines with our diagnosis. The ethical future absolutely has to be defined by us, not the code.
And that debate is so critical because this silent hero, it is absolutely not perfect. AI has no inherent morality. It is simply an amplified mirror of our own collective database. If we train a medical AI using health data exclusively from patients in wealthy nations, its diagnosis will fail catastrophically when applied to the rest of the world. The algorithm will only recognize the specific patterns it was taught. Technological hope is only real if it is equitable. We have got to ensure the data feeding these miracles represents all of humanity.
Section 5. The map of hope. The end of our limitations.
So, the crucial point is this. We've covered massive ground today, from bypassing a century of lab work in 24 hours to stabilizing the global climate. And it's totally natural to fear what processes faster than us. But remember, AI didn't wake up one morning with a sudden magical desire to cure cancer or clean the oceans. It was created by humans, built on the accumulated, hard-won knowledge of thousands of scientists who dedicated their entire lives to progress. We are not facing the end of humanity here. AI is ultimately the greatest monument to human curiosity. We are just facing the end of our biological bottlenecks. The map of hope has already been drawn by our own hands, and for the very first time in history, we have the computational compass required to actually navigate it.
The future is not some dark, dystopian sci-fi movie. The future is incredibly bright. The only question left is, are you ready for tomorrow? Are you ready to navigate this? Thank you so much for staying with me on this journey. If this explainer helped you understand the real potential of AI and restored a bit of your hope, please give it a like, subscribe for more, and most importantly, share it with someone who needs a little technological hope today. I'll see you in the next explainer.